Hello everyone, we are in part 10 of module 1 data communication. So now we are going to see something called the channel capacity, an expression for finding channel capacity. Okay, let's begin. So we have seen that there are a variety of environments that distort or corrupt a signal. So we already seen the different environments like attenuation, distortion, delay, distortion, noise, etc. that are going to corrupt your signal, right? Your communication or disturb your communication. Now, if you are looking at the digital data, the question that then arises is to what extent these environments limits the data rate that can be achieved. So for a given medium, to what is the limit on the data rate that is achievable, that is normally limited by the environments. So after considering all the environments, to what extent we can achieve the data rate, how we can find a formulation for that. So the maximum rate at which the data can be transmitted over a given communication path or channel under a given condition is referred to as the channel capacity. So what is capacity of a given channel is the maximum rate at which the communication is possible through that channel. Okay, and there are four concepts here that are related to one another. With this channel capacity, they are going to define the channel capacity. So first one, data rate. We already seen this terminology, the rate that is expressed in bits per second at which the data can be communicated over a given channel. So say 100 megabits per second, gigabits per second, like that we will be expressing the speed, data rate. Now another terminology, bandwidth. We already seen the relation, how these terms are related, not direct relation, but some case studies we already seen. So we know what is bandwidth, the width of the spectrum, right? The bandwidth of the transmitted signal as constrained by the transmitter and the nature of the transmission medium expressed in cycle per second. So we are expressing the unit is cycles per second or hertz. And normally this bandwidth of a given channel will be constrained by the type of transmitter you are using and also the nature of the transmission medium. Both are going to define the bandwidth. That is about the medium, it's a property of the medium. Then noise, the average level of noise over the communication path. We already seen different types of noise. So on the average, how much noise you can expect. And if it is a digital communication, of course we have the error rate, that is the rate at which the error occurs. So what do you mean by an error? Is the reception of a 1 when 0 was transmitted, or reception of a 0 when 1 was transmitted. You are receiving in a, because we are dealing with the binary only zeros and ones. So when you are sending 0 and you are receiving it as 1, or sending 1 receiving it as 0, that is fundamentally what is an error. So definitely this error will be there if it is a digital communication, or in general other distortions, this noise, everything is going to affect the communication, and accordingly the how we can relate the bandwidth with the data rate. Even though you are having this much bandwidth, how much data rate is achievable. So we have a formal formulation for that. So to get into that formulation, what is the problem that we are trying to address here? So the communication facilities are expensive in general. The greater the bandwidth of facility, the greater the cost, of course, right? Because this bandwidth is something that the property of the transmission medium, transmitter, etc. So if you are using everything better, accordingly you will be getting better bandwidth. So in that case, definitely you have to spend more cost, right? So that is on consideration. And furthermore, all transmission channel of any practical interest are of limited bandwidth. So that means even whether it is bandwidth or memory capacity, whatever it is, that infinite concept is not there. Everything is limited. So with that limited bandwidth, by considering all error, noise, etc., what is the data rate? like that we are going. So the limitation arises from the physical properties of the transition medium, already seen, or from deliberate limitation at the transmitter on the bandwidth to prevent interference from other sources. Sometimes it will be the properties of the transition medium, that is one factor. Another one, we already seen the limitation of the transmitter. So if you are providing much more bandwidth, accordingly there are chances of interference with the other sources of communication, right? So that also we have to take care. So to avoid such possible interferences, even it is not possible for us to provide some infinite bandwidth, so we have to limit it. These two are the limiting parameters. One is the type of medium you are using, the properties of the transmission medium, and another one is the limitation of the transmitter on the bandwidth to prevent the interference from the other sources. So accordingly the transmitter is forced to limit the bandwidth to avoid interference. So accordingly we could like to make as efficient use as possible of a given bandwidth. So what is the conclusion? One factor is cost, another factor is the limiting of the bandwidth. Anyway, because of these two, you can't expect a cheaper bandwidth that is available for you in a cheaper way. Also you can't expect some infinite amount of bandwidth. So as it is limited, as well as the cost factor is concerned, what we can do is how much bandwidth is available for us, try to make the best use out of it. So try to use the available bandwidth in an efficient way. Now for digital data, this means that we would like to get a high data rate as possible at a particular limit of error rate for a given bandwidth. So bandwidth is something restricted, so with the given bandwidth, and error also we can't avoid by considering the possible errors, how much data rate is possible. So that should be our focus, particularly for digital communication. How much data rate is possible for a given bandwidth, as well as by considering the errors possible. So the main constraint on achieving this efficiency is of course noise, and that is leading to the error. And again, so when we are trying to maximize the data rate for a given bandwidth and error rate, what are all the difficulties we are facing? So what are all the limits which are limiting the data rate parameter? A very important consideration in data communication is how fast we can send the data, that is what is the bits per second over a channel. So as we are getting more bits per second, we are more happy, right? Because our communication is getting that much faster. So how we can improve it? By by keeping the bandwidth limited, as well as by having the cost consideration. Okay. So the data rate depends on three factors that is already studied, and we are not giving the details on how data rate is going to relate with this factor, nothing we are saying, but just listing out the factors on which the data rate is depending. As you already seen, the bandwidth available is going to affect it, but the kind of relation we didn't discuss so far. The level of the signal we use, if normally two level signal we are using, say one representing 0, another one representing say 1. Now if we are having say 4 level signal, each level can represent 2 bits. In general, L level signal, each level can represent a log L to the base 2 bits, right? That concept also we discussed already. And also the quality of the channel, that is the level of noise present. By considering these three factors, we can have a formulation for the data rate. And that is already done, and we are just looking at the formulation only and not the derivation, how the formula came, its correctness, nothing we are discussing. We are just looking at the formulation only. That is enough for you for the time being. Okay, so we are directly moving on to the formulation. So two theoretical formulas were developed to calculate the data rate by considering these three parameters, and these one by Nyquist, the scientist Nyquist, for noiseless channel, and another by Shannon for noisy channel. So when Nyquist derived a formulation for the theoretical bit rate value, he assumed that the underlying channel is noiseless. but it is not a realistic assumption, so definitely we need a better model for finding out the bit rate. So accordingly we have Shannon for capacity theorem, or Shannon model, which is more realistic compared to that, but still Shannon the formulation is also having some limitations, where the Shannon is considering noisy channel, but that noise itself is not considering all types of noise. That is the kind of limitation we have in Shannon formulation. Okay, anyway, compared to Nyquist it is more realistic. Okay. And so we have two different formulation, and we are not looking at the derivation of the formula or its correctness, nothing. We are simply looking at the formulation only, that is already studied in detail by Nyquist and Shannon. We are directly taking that formulation for our study purpose. Okay. So it is first of all, when you are we will start with the Nyquist and then Shannon. And the parameters they are considering to calculate the data rate are the bandwidth, the level, and the noise. Okay. That depends, like bandwidth and level are considered by Nyquist. Noise is not considered by him because he is assuming a noiseless channel. Shannon is considering noise also. So the noise, for noiseless channel we have the Nyquist bitrate formulation. For a noiseless channel, the Nyquist bitrate formula defined the theoretical maximum bitrate as bitrate is equal to 2 times bandwidth into logarithm L to the base 2. Derivation and correctness we are not discussing, we are just using the formula only. Just be familiar with the formula. So it is something very important formula in data communication. Particularly from module 1, if they are asking you any problems that will be related to this, most of the problems asked so far are in this area, but still they can frame some other problem from the topics we already covered. Okay, so it is a very important formula, not only this, the Shannon formula also. So the relation between the bandwidth and bit rate according to Nyquist, he given theoretical correctness everything, but we are not looking into that part. Is bitrate is equal to 2 times bandwidth into logarithm of number of levels to the base 2, where the bandwidth here is nothing but the bandwidth of the channel. That depends on the transmitter as well as the underlying medium. And L is the level, that is the number of signal levels used to represent the data. So if there are L level, log L to the base 2, that many bits per level, right? And so accordingly we are getting the bit rate as bit rate in bits per second, we are getting like this. So it is 2 times of this. So of course you can feel like it is something related to level. If you increase the number of levels, you may be getting more bit rate, like that we are getting a feel. But if we keep on increasing the level, we will be facing some other problem, and that we will see now. So the Nyquist bit rate, the effect on increasing signal level. So by simply looking at the formula, we feel like increasing bit level, number of levels is going to increase the bit rate. But some other difficulty may arise at that point. According to the formula, we might think that given a specific bandwidth, we can have any bit rate we want by increasing the number of signal levels. But although the idea is theoretically correct, practically there is a limit. And it is like this: when we increase the number of signal levels, we impose a burden on the receiver. So receiver is going to have some complexity. And what kind of a burden we are imposing to the receiver? For example, if the number of levels in a signal is just 2, the receiver can easily distinguish between say high voltage and a low voltage, or vice versa, between 0 and 1. But at the same time, if the level of signal is 64, per level we have 6 bits. The receiver must be very sophisticated to distinguish between 64 different levels. So that is voltage level only. So accordingly, say 5 voltage for one level, 10 voltage. I am just taking. If we are just imagine that how much complicated algorithm will be running at the receiver side to distinguish, to identify the actual bits from a given level of signal. So that will make a very sophisticated design at the receiver side, and it will be more complex to handle. Accordingly, cost will increase, the power consumption will increase, like that many problems are there. So it is not good to depend directly on the number of levels. Keep it as no need to keep it as just 2. We can have some good value between somewhat say 4 or 8, like that. Don't try to increase that level to a very high value. to achieve more bit rate. That is not good. That is one consideration. Also, if the data rate is increased, then the bits become shorter, right? Because for a given level you are trying to represent more number of bits. So per bit, how much what could be the period of the bit or duration of a bit, like that. So everything is restricted, right? We are simply increasing the data rate alone. Okay, so naturally the cycle length, those things will be small. So accordingly, every bit we will be forced to represent in a very shorter length, so that more bits are affected so by a given pattern of noise. Just like say for 1 second of time, you may come across, as you increase the bit rate. For example, if the bit rate is 1 kilobits per second, that means in every second 1 kilobits are transmitted through the medium. Another example, say bit rate is 1 megabits per second. So on the same 1 second of time, we have 1 megabits right now. So if there is any problem, any noise coming on the way, what is going to happen? Normally this noise, if it is some impulse noise, something that we already seen, in that case, for example, the width of the noise is say some 0.01 second. So 1 second, how many bits? Accordingly, for 0.01 second, how many bits? But if you increase the data rate for the same duration of the noise, the number of bits which are getting affected will be more. Hope that concept is clear. Just take an example, like a bit, say bit rate is equal to 1 kilobits per second. Case 2, bit rate is equal to say 1 megabits per second. Say noise is simply we will take that the duration of the noise is 1 second. Then in the first case, during 1 second 1 kilobits are getting affected, like 1024 bits. But in the second case, during the same 1 second of time, 1 megabits are getting affected, the 1024 to 1024. So for the same pattern of noise, the number of bits which are getting affected will be more if you are increasing bit rate to a bigger value. So you have to consider all these parameters when you are designing a medium with a particular bit rate. Okay, so hence increasing the levels of the signal as well as data rate, that is going to reduce the reliability of the system in both the sense. Okay, so that is a conclusion. So accordingly take a suitable value for this. So with this I am winding up this part, because in the next part we have the Shannon capacity theorem. Okay, so let's have that theorem in the subsequent part. Thank you.